Biscuits, pancakes, cookies, cake, and a worldwide fungal infection. HBO's The Last of Us is a thrill ride for gamers and non-gamers alike. But those in the know found some delicious surprises hidden in the show's first 2 episodes. Spoilers ahead. In The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie tells her girlfriend Dina that Joel's favorite movie franchise is a cheesy fictional 80s action series, and she wants to use it as an olive branch to help ease their strained relationship.
What movie you guys gonna watch? What's Joel into?
Curtis and Viper 2.
Later in the game, while taking shelter with Dina and Jesse in a Seattle theater, Ellie notices a Curtis and Viper 4 poster on the wall in one of the back rooms and makes a comment to herself that it was one of Joel's favorites. In the show, fans will notice that the DVD Sarah borrows for Joel on his birthday is Curtis and Viper 2, a film that obviously holds importance in their relationship. So what's the plot? In The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie explains that it's about 2 former commandos that go rogue to fight bad guys, and I think in Curtis and Viper 2 they go up against Russian spies or something. The young one, Viper, he's a trained ninja, and he's a complete badass.
Oh, this is the one with the deleted scenes.
Yeah, imagine how bad those have to be.
This Easter egg makes the impact the franchise has on Ellie and Joel in the video game much more dynamic, as it emphasizes what Ellie means to Joel and how she has become a surrogate daughter to him after Sarah's death. Joel is eventually willing to share his interests with Ellie, interests that he once shared with Sarah, whose absence he felt so much that he could barely talk about her in the original The Last of Us. When players wake up as Sarah in the video game, they have the option to pick up a birthday card in her bedroom. The card reads "Congratulations" and features an illustration of a green cartoon dinosaur wearing a party hat. Sarah says that she forgot to give the card to her dad, but that worry is soon overshadowed by the noise and chaos outside. In the show, there is a shot of Sarah's bedroom, and that same exact birthday card can be briefly seen on her desk underneath some art supplies. The inclusion of the art supplies in the scene would mean that Sarah went to the trouble of hand-making her father's card, a neat detail left out of the game. Much like in the game, the shots of the birthday card are not lingered on for very long. Sadly, Sarah forgets to give it to Joel after gifting him his repaired watch and falling asleep while watching a movie together. Another neat detail from the opening: Sarah is wearing a t-shirt for the fictional band Halcyon Drops, in both the show and the game. In both versions, the list of tour stops on the back includes several locations that will be important to the story down the road. One of the most infamous scenes from the original game comes when Tommy, Joel, and Sarah are attempting to drive out of Austin amidst the outbreak. When they end up downtown, Tommy's truck is totaled by another vehicle as the infected attack survivors and fires break out across town, which leads to Sarah injuring her leg in the escape. Fans were likely expecting that very same outcome to unfold in the show, given how pivotal this event is in The Last of Us and the fact that the scene mirrors the perspective players experience in the game. Instead, the writers changed the layout of the scene, opting to first fake audiences out with an oncoming truck that just narrowly misses Tommy's truck. The chaos that flips Tommy's truck in the show does not stem from another roadbound vehicle. Instead, a plane crashes in close proximity to Tommy, Joel, and Sarah, which leads to debris flying at the truck and causing it to crash. The switch-up gave the scene a fresh feel in an episode that was largely faithful to the original game. Speaking of faithful to the game, here's an easy-to-miss small detail that fans of the game likely picked up on. When Joel is forced to kill his infected neighbor with a wrench, he discards it, likely out of disgust for what he just had to do with it. But in the Last of Us game series, wrenches can be used as weapons, and the player is forced to discard them all the time, since they only have a limited number of uses. So switching out Joel killing his neighbor Jimmy was a fresh take that also nodded at the mechanics of the game. The world of The Last of Us has plunged into chaos after the cordyceps fungal outbreak. In the game, it begins with infected crops in South America. However, the show takes on one of the main sources of the spread, airborne spores, and substitutes them with tendrils that grow out of the infected. While it's unclear so far, there must be some explanation for how cordyceps took over the world in the show. Fan theories circulating online suggest one possible answer: flour.
I was thinking we'd make some cookies.
Chocolate chip?
Raisin.
Joel and Sarah managed to avoid eating flour-based products at least 4 different times in episode 1. First, they finally have run out of it at breakfast and make eggs instead of pancakes. Later, they politely decline when their neighbor offers them biscuits, the same biscuits the infected neighbor ate. After that, Sarah and Connie bake cookies together, but Sarah doesn't take any because they have raisins in them. Finally, Joel forgets to pick up his birthday cake after work. Beyond that, the creators of the show may have hinted at all of this in the Last of Us podcast. There, Craig Mazin mentions that
Careful viewers of this episode will be rewarded repeatedly because little bits of breadcrumbs have been planted that are going to pay off later in interesting ways.
Plus, it just so happens that the world's largest flour mill is in Jakarta, which appears to be at the center of the outbreak on the show.
Jakarta. Where is that, Middle East?
Doesn't ring a bell. It's definitely a country. Maybe part of Asia.
Jakarta isn't a country.
Fans will just have to wait and see how these enigmatic hints play out in future episodes of The Last of Us.
Dad, you love biscuits.
I do. But I'm on Atkins.
When Ellie awakens at the beginning of episode 2, a butterfly hovers above her. This is a direct callback to various scenes in the original game, where Ellie is constantly enamored by the beauty of the butterflies and fireflies living outside of the quarantine zone. Butterflies become a symbol of hope, which mirrors the hope that the fireflies have in Ellie's resistance to the cordyceps virus, which they think may hold the key to producing a viable vaccine.
A vaccine.
Any child born after Outbreak Day is brought into a world of immense violence and cruelty. When Ellie is falling in love with nature, taking the time to read comic books or cracking jokes about the adults, it's a reminder that she's still just a kid trying to piece together some semblance of fun amid a hollow and deadly reality. On top of all that, before the events of The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie gets a tattoo of a butterfly to cover up the chemical burn she gave herself to cover her bite scar.
Just so it's out there, I can't swim.
In the original game, it's a running joke and nuisance that Ellie can't swim. In numerous missions, Joel is forced to push Ellie across bodies of water using a wooden pallet. In The Last of Us Part 2, flashbacks show that Joel teaches her to swim, and she actually becomes quite skilled at it. She even gets good enough to make a joke about her past shortcomings when the two encounter a stray pallet near a museum in Wyoming.
Joel, look! Wanna give me a ride?
Those days are long gone, kiddo.
When Joel, Tess, and Ellie reach the hotel in Boston, there is a lot of water separating them and the stairwell they need to get to. Quickly, Ellie notes that she can't swim because there aren't many pools in the quarantine zone. Annoyed by her point, Joel shows Ellie that the water only goes up to his knees. It remains to be seen whether or not Ellie's inability to swim will become as big of a plot point in the show as it was in the game, or if pallets will ever come into play. In the game, as Joel and Ellie are about to reach the hospital in Salt Lake City where the Fireflies are stationed, they stumble upon a group of giraffes in an open field. It's one of the most beautiful and enchanting parts of the first game, and it gives the player a break from the never-ending brutality. Players can stand at the ledge and watch the giraffes for as long as they'd like.
It's got its ups and downs, but you can't deny the view, though.
In episode 2 of the show, as Joel, Tess, and Ellie are traveling across Boston and heading toward the Capitol building, they stop and take in the sights from a rooftop.
You can't deny that view.
Fragments of the same composition that soundtracks the giraffe encounter in the game are used to score this scene, a subtle link between the game and the show. Hopefully, we'll hear it again and see some giraffes in a later episode.